This woman actually takes advantage of the empty restroom, slowly lifting her skirt and using a sharp blade to slice open her thigh. Yet, not a trace of pain can be seen on her face. Instead, a wave of calmness washes over her, even carrying a hint of relieved liberation. But who would have ever thought that this woman, who is so incredibly ruthless to herself, is actually a top-tier piano professor? Her name is Erica, a woman whose hair is always meticulously combed without a single stray strand, exuding an unquestionable strictness from head to toe. In the classroom, she never engages in even half a sentence of unnecessary small talk. The moment her fingertips land on the keys, every single note is as precise as if measured by a ruler, steeped in ultimate professionalism while simultaneously carrying an unchallengeable authority. Towards her students, her strictness borders on a downright cruel harshness. When criticizing a student, her tone remains flat, yet carries the heavy weight of 1,000 pounds. In her classroom, there is absolutely no encouragement and no tolerance. The students are all in total awe of her, not even daring to breathe heavily while playing, their eyes filled with a complex mix of fear and worship. However, this woman, who is so dignified she seems rigid and as elegant as a piece of art, strips off all her disguises late at night to quietly sneak into a dimly lit adult video arcade. Surrounded by a packed house of male viewers mixed with the heavy smell of smoke, she waits with a totally calm expression, staring blankly at the explicit and glaring images on the screen. There is no trace of shyness in her eyes, only a nearly greedy and consuming desire. She even rummages through the wastebasket, picking up tissues used by strangers, carefully placing them against her nose, and greedily inhaling the lingering scent of strangers. It is exactly as if that were the sweet dew needed to soothe her completely barren heart. Why in the world would a top-tier piano professor engage in such incredibly sick behavior? Nearing her 40s, Erica still sleeps in the same narrow bed as her mother, living her life as a puppet with absolutely no sense of self. After work every day, she must return home exactly on time, because if she is even one single minute late, her mother's phone call will immediately come ringing through. What suffocates her even more is the fact that her mother has the absolute final say over what clothes she wears. On this particular day, her mother is once again nagging her endlessly over a clothing issue. She finally cannot hold back her boiling explosion, getting into a physical scuffle with her mother. Her mother cries out incessantly, instantly transforming from a domineering controller into a totally fragile victim. Her mother's show of weakness acts just like a sharp weapon, instantly crushing Erica's mental defenses. Looking at her mother's aged face and tearful eyes, all her anger and grievances turn right into guilt, forcing her to apologize with red-rimmed eyes. Erica has been enduring this exact, exhausting cycle of suppression, feigned weakness, and guilt for a full 40 years. This toxic control in the name of love is like an airtight net that firmly traps Erica's soul, causing her to completely lose the ability to feel happiness or express any affection. Erica's life is just like a pool of stagnant water, without the slightest ripple or any visible glimmer of hope. Day after day of rigid teaching, coupled with her hidden desires that simply cannot see the light of night, completely constitute her entire existence. She has long been fully accustomed to sinking all alone in this desolate wasteland. That is, until a young man named Walter suddenly appears, hitting this stagnant water like a heavy stone and finally stirring up circles of ripples. Walter and Erica's very first encounter takes place at a social gathering at his aunt's house. When Erica sits upright in front of the piano and lightly drops her fingertips onto the keys, a dynamic melody flows out just like a bubbling spring. The music is at times melodious and winding, and at other times brisk and totally bouncing. He is instantly captivated by the sheer magic flowing from her fingertips, his gaze fixed on Erica like a magnet, with his eyes full of undisguised amazement and deep adoration. As the song ends, the lingering notes beautifully echo throughout the room. Walter simply cannot help but clap vigorously, mixing in genuine cheers straight from the bottom of his heart. Unable to suppress his inner excitement and raw desire, he eagerly steps forward, his eyes never leaving Erica for a single second. Yet, facing this young man who radiates vibrant energy and has eyes full of fiery light, Erica's expression remains an unmelting sheet of absolute ice. She is entirely unmoved. her chin slightly raised in sheer arrogance, maintaining a posture that seems to declare an innate detachment, as she refuses to reveal even a single trace of extra emotion to him. Walter's heart, full of bright passion, feels like it has crashed right into a massive iceberg. But this intense coldness does not make him back down. Instead, it makes him even more wildly obsessed with this mysterious and aloof piano professor. Not long after, Walter, completely unable to contain his inner flutterings, actually follows the clues straight to Erica's piano room.
Je vous demande vraiment pardon, mais il fallait absolument que je me renseigne auprès de vous et pas me faire expédier par n'importe qui.
Sur quoi?
Et sur l'examen d'entrée, je voudrais faire partie de votre masterclass.
C'est très aimable à vous, jeune homme.
Faced with his sudden and bold request, Erica simply responds with coldness and pure sarcasm. Time flies by so fast, and in the blink of an eye, it is the intense day of the audition. The spacious concert hall is packed full of judging teachers, filling the air with a tense and highly oppressive atmosphere. Erica maintains her meticulous appearance, sitting upright at the judges' table with a coldness in her eyes that is even more severe than in the piano room, looking like an emotionless sculpture whose gaze sweeps over the candidates with an inherent, chilling deterrence. Walter's fluid and totally flawless performance absolutely stuns all the professors present in the room. The room is filled with endless, glowing praise, yet Erica alone frowns from beginning to end, coldly throwing out harsh words of opposition. But nobody expects that, in the very end, Walter still remarkably manages to become her student. After work that day, she goes to the adult video store as usual, since scrutinizing and peeping are also major sources of her secret pleasure. She deliberately heads to the adult magazine section to catch her own students in the act, thoroughly enjoying their deep embarrassment. She then waits until they think she will let it go, only to use it to completely humiliate them during class. Besides the video store, the underground parking lot is also a secret base for her to pry right into raw desires. She peeps at intimate couples in their cars, standing completely motionless in the shadows with a focused and greedy gaze, acting like a lurking hunter, capturing the most private moments of others. After becoming Erica's student, Walter's pursuit becomes increasingly bold and incredibly passionate. During class, he aggressively tries every possible way to strike up a conversation with her. Even at the school's recital, his gaze acts as if under a powerful spell, locked entirely on Erica the whole time, with the surging love in his eyes so thick it simply cannot be hidden. Such a fiery and straightforward pursuit ultimately forces the usually tranquil Erica to inadvertently rest her gaze upon him. But she has never learned how to truly love someone. That quietly sprouting flutter, instead of transforming into tender affection, actually breeds a nearly sick and twisted desire for control. The exact fuse that truly ignites Erica's desire for control is a rehearsal. On that day, Anna cries due to overwhelming nervousness, and everyone around holds their breath, with nobody daring to step forward easily to comfort her. After all, under Erica's watchful eyes, absolutely any sign of weakness is strictly forbidden. Yet Walter does not overthink it, immediately taking the initiative to step forward and softly comforting Anna upon seeing this. Perhaps Walter's comfort is highly effective, as Anna quickly breaks into a bright smile through her tears. They sit side by side next to the piano, acting as intimately as a pair of young lovers just experiencing their first awakening of love. This exact scene violently crashes right into Erica's eyes without any warning whatsoever. Her originally calm and totally unruffled eyes instantly whip up a massive storm of turbulent waves. Jealousy acts just like a long, lurking, venomous snake, making her almost completely unable to catch her breath. She firmly believes that Walter's attention has been stolen away by this girl, causing a freezing wave of malice to frantically breed right in the bottom of her heart. Without uttering a single word, she turns around and walks straight out of the rehearsal hall, making her way directly into the locker room. She looks around in all directions, thoroughly confirming that the locker room is completely empty. Then she finds a glass cup, tightly wrapping a silk scarf entirely around its body. Immediately following that, she violently raises her foot, stomping down ruthlessly right onto the bottom of the cup. Erica crouches down, carefully picking up the sharp fragments and quietly stuffing them right into the pocket of Anna's coat hanging on the rack. After finishing all of this, she walks out of the locker room entirely expressionless, acting exactly as if nothing has happened, sitting back down in her seat in the concert hall to continue listening to the rehearsal. After the rehearsal ends, Anna returns to the locker room, picking up her own coat to change and leave. But in the very next second, a piercing scream slashes through the quietness of the locker room, causing everyone to instantly freeze and turn their horrified gazes toward Anna's direction. They only see that Anna's palm has been sliced into a bloody mess by the glass fragments inside her pocket, with fresh blood constantly dripping down through the gaps of her fingers. Anna is trembling violently all over her body from the extreme pain. Walter instantly figures out exactly what has happened. He absolutely never expected that this piano teacher, who usually appears rigid, dull, entirely aloof, and as cold as frost to everyone, would actually harbor such fiery, yet completely twisted feelings for him. He does not expose Erica right on the spot, instead turning around and quickly running directly toward the restroom where Erica is located. The moment Walter presses against the door, there is no unnecessary questioning whatsoever, nor is there any awkward small talk. He forcefully pulls Erica right into his arms, letting his burning hot breath spray directly onto her neck. Immediately following that, he reaches out to lift her skirt, wanting to use the most direct physical contact to confirm her true heart hidden deep beneath the coldness, and to fully respond to this twisted yet surging wave of emotion. At first, Erica does not put up any resistance, but right when their passion reaches its peak and the temperature in the air is almost about to combust, Erica suddenly acts as if a pause button has been firmly pressed, violently pushing Walter away. Walter is left completely dizzy and confused by Erica's sudden and extreme contrast. Erica is absolutely no longer willing to be controlled, heavily insisting that she must dominate, even when it comes to fundamental human desires. She ruthlessly toys with Walter, completely disregarding whether it hurts him or not, and totally ignoring whether his desires are fully released. She continues to stare down at Walter from a high and mighty posture, commanding him to face her and release his desires. This kind of intense control that severely suppresses his dignity allows Walter to clearly see the utter sickness lurking right beneath Erica's cold exterior.
Je veux bien apprendre à jouer à tous les jeux, mais il faut que les règles soient les mêmes pour tous.
Erica simply does not care at all about the fairness he so deeply desires. A few days later, right inside the totally enclosed piano classroom, they finally get a chance to be completely alone due to a lesson. Erica hands him a letter, strictly instructing him that he can only open it when he is entirely alone. He completely does not know that the contents are actually not sweet words of love, but rather her incredibly specific and special demands for an exclusive partner. At this exact moment, Walter still does not know the true, underlying her, heavily wishing to have a normal, romantic date with her, just like an ordinary couple. That night, Walter simply cannot help himself and secretly follows Erica all the way back to her home. The second he arrives, he aggressively attempts to forcefully kiss her. He can absolutely no longer tolerate Erica completely controlling the entire direction of this relationship, forcefully using the excuse of being a guest to enter her bedroom right in front of Erica's mother. In order to completely prevent her mother from peeking in, they solidly block the bedroom door using a heavy wardrobe. Walter passionately wants to kiss her, and Erica no longer stubbornly refuses, instead strictly commanding him to read the letter first before he can do whatever he wants to do. The detailed contents inside the letter perfectly outline the exact intimate methods that Erica deeply desires. She firmly demands that Walter heavily inflict mental and physical torment upon her, even including some completely unspeakable and explicit requests. Walter becomes increasingly horrified the more he reads, finding it absolutely impossible to believe that this elegant piano professor he so deeply admires has such a thoroughly twisted heart. Her mother loudly curses at Erica from directly outside the door, aggressively and violently rattling the doorknob. Meanwhile, Erica calmly pulls out a pile of incredibly strange props from right under the bed, all of which are the exact tools mentioned inside the letter. She carefully places the various props down onto the carpet, staring intently right at Walter. He coldly watches Erica's attempts to make him stay, spewing words of love while simultaneously humiliating the raw truth Erica has bared, completely shifting all the blame for this disastrous falling out onto her utter sickness. The exact second the door slams shut, Erica instantly plunges deep into intense loneliness and crushing disappointment. This is the very first time she actively opens her heart to someone else, yet she is ultimately still completely rejected. After this absurd and twisted, ambiguous tug-of-war ends, Erica returns to that oppressively suffocating room. She still lies in the exact same bed as her mother. Her mother continuously nags and verbally abuses her right by her ear, and those fragmented yet piercing words sound exceptionally grating to Erica at this very moment. Unable to endure it any longer, she violently turns sideways and presses down onto her mother, her eyes filled with bloodshot madness and long-suppressed despair. This is a rare outward leak of her intense pain, serving as the explosive release of decades of accumulated grievances and deep unwillingness. Startled by this sudden and aggressive move, her mother firmly fights back upon seeing her daughter suddenly go crazy and try to suppress her, ruthlessly pinning her right back onto the bed. Early the next morning, Erica looks incredibly haggard. Stripped of all her sheer arrogance and coldness, she acts just like a lost lamb as she fully tracks down the ice hockey rink that Walter frequently visits. Her footsteps are somewhat staggering, and her voice carries an unhideable tremble and deep humility, completely devoid of the majestic authority of her former piano professor persona. To repair this twisted relationship that she has become incredibly attached to, Erica turns right into a child throwing a desperate tantrum. Seeing Walter merely watching her with absolute coldness, the totally cornered Erica finally completely abandons her very last bottom line. Her eyes are entirely filled with desperate pleading, not hesitating to use her own body to make him stay. She heavily attempts to awaken his past flutterings using the most intimate physical contact, presenting absolutely everything she has right in front of him without any reservation, just like an object patiently waiting to be fully accepted. But at the exact moment their bodies tightly press together, Erica suddenly feels a massive wave of nausea, violently pushing Walter away to kneel onto the freezing ground and gag intensely. This sudden and overwhelming bodily instinct completely betrays her, and her severe reaction also thoroughly shreds Walter's dignity to absolute pieces. He originally still harbored a tiny trace of pity, but now only pure disgust and raging anger completely remain. Thinking that this twisted relationship would totally end right here, Walter actually returns to Erica's house late at night, carrying monstrous, sky-high anger. The second the door opens, Walter's eyes are completely filled with nothing but fury and a burning desire for revenge. At this moment, Erica's mother hears the commotion and, seeing Walter and Erica arguing, immediately steps forward to stop them. Walter forcefully shoves her right back into her room with a single push, tightly locking the door. Erica's mother frantically beats against the door, with her sharp curses and desperate cries echoing straight through the door seams. But Walter turns a completely deaf ear to it all. He slowly turns around to lock his gaze right back onto Erica, crouching firmly on the ground, his eyes carrying undissipated anger and a trace of undeniable paranoia as he walks toward her step by step. The ensuing scene is fully loaded with suffocating violence and completely naked humiliation. Erica once heavily used twisted methods to construct her very own rules of intimacy, but the current Walter entirely ignores all of her preconditions, showing absolutely zero pity as he crushes her dignity into pieces using the most brutal and direct methods possible. Erica acts exactly like a completely broken doll, drained of all her strength, entirely allowing Walter to do whatever he wants to her. Her once meticulously perfect hair bun completely falls apart, with stray hairs sticking to her totally tear-stained face. There is absolutely no expression on her face. She holds neither the raging anger of resistance nor the deep humility of begging for mercy, with only her tears constantly flowing straight down. When genuine violence descends completely without warning, she suddenly violently awakens to the fact that what she truly desired was absolutely never being hurt, but rather a solid proof of being deeply cared for. The extreme violence and humiliation finally completely end, and Walter heavily slams the door and leaves without even giving her a single extra glance, leaving only the entirely collapsed Erica on the ground, acting as broken as if her soul has been completely extracted. A few days later, Erica directly replaces Anna to fully participate in this concert as a pianist. She wears a crisp white shirt, perfectly paired with a solemn black skirt, and her hair is combed immaculately, looking entirely no different from that meticulously perfect piano professor on any normal day. Right before the concert officially begins, Erica stands completely alone guarding the entrance, her anxious gaze darting in all directions, exactly as if she is desperately waiting for someone. That is, until Walter's figure appears. He is dressed entirely in a formal suit, looking highly spirited and radiating the bright, glowing energy of youth from head to toe, totally looking like a completely different person from the one who viciously humiliated her that exact day. He acts exactly as if he has long thrown all of their previous, intense entanglements right to the back of his mind. Or perhaps from the very beginning, he absolutely never took that completely deformed relationship to heart. Erica firmly watches his back, her eyes holding absolutely no raging anger and zero jealousy, with nothing remaining but a completely dead sheet of nothingness. In the very next second, she pulls that sharp knife right out of her carried bag, violently plunging it directly into her own shoulder without a single trace of hesitation. Fresh blood instantly heavily oozes right out from the wound, totally staining the pure white shirt bright red. Yet Erica remains entirely expressionless, acting exactly as if she absolutely cannot feel even a tiny bit of pain. She slowly pulls the knife completely out, then turns directly around to heavily walk out of the concert hall step by step, ultimately disappearing entirely right into the flow of heavy traffic. Erica desperately attempts to snatch back absolute dominance in the relationship completely through a sadistic contract, but she ultimately still thoroughly loses in a total and crushing defeat. This cinematic masterpiece that heavily scooped up 3 major awards at Cannes has absolutely zero cheap plot conflicts and zero forced tear-jerking moments. Yet it powerfully carves the deep damage of families of origin, the twisted deformations of human desires, and the intense power struggles between genders right into the bone. This movie acts exactly like a clear mirror, totally reflecting the deeply unknown suppressions and burning desires hidden directly within the profound depths of every single one of our hearts. Perhaps we are absolutely not as highly extreme as Erica, but we are all heavily bound by various expectations and tight rules to some degree, totally suppressing our most genuine and true inner needs. Do not wait entirely until the final moment of complete despair to suddenly wake up, because the absolute most important thing in life has strictly always been being your own master and living completely for yourself.